Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin holders, watch out. Cramer issues major price warning. Major price warning. So, what should we do with this information? Is Cramer correct? Let's talk about it and why he thinks there will be some major dumping happening soon. All right, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. You know, the U.S. market didn't do too bad today. And we got some good news. Okay? We had one Fed say that we don't need any more rate hikes. Okay? No more, because if we have any more, we will go into recession. And then we have the housing industry urging Powell to stop rate hikes as well. So that's two big pleas, I guess, to Powell. I was going to say endorsement. No, it's like a plea to Powell. Like, no more. We don't need any more. If you keep going, it will end up in disaster. Right? So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the U.S. market actually did pretty well today. Green overall, right? Bitcoin didn't really move. Entire crypto market cap didn't move, but, you know, we'll take it. We didn't see any red today. So that's good. What's also, I guess, good is SBF's ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, took the stand today, okay, and said some very damning things about SBF. She already pleaded guilty to many counts of wire fraud, you know, conspiracy to commit fraud and wire fraud and all this stuff. So she's going away for a long time. But she's probably getting a lighter sentence because now she's testifying against her ex, which is SBF, right? And basically, she said what everyone was already thinking. He directed me to commit fraud. He told me to take risks. And he also shared with Caroline that he wanted to become president, U.S. president. And he also had thoughts about paying off Donald Trump from running for president again. That shows you the type of person SBF is. He thinks very highly of himself, right? And he thinks he can be a good leader, I guess. The greatest leader of the free world, I guess. Well, luckily that didn't happen, and everything has collapsed on top of him. So Caroline says some damning things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how SBF is going to argue this. I don't know how his lawyers will be able to counter the endless testimonies against this guy. So I don't know. Seven circles, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Now, Cramer. Let's talk about Cramer. Cramer issues major price warning for Bitcoin. And this is after he heard Polygon Jones go on Squawk Box and say what he said. And I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. But to sum up Cramer, a lot of people who watch us are searching for ways not to lose money, but to make money. I can't go out with gold because gold is not good. I can't go out with Bitcoin because Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. Again, so he not only is he dissing on Bitcoin, saying that Mr. Bitcoin is going to go down big, but he's also saying that gold will too. Now, I don't have the inverse Cramer index, and there is one. And many people have charted some of the things he has said on air and have tweeted, and the correlation is uncanny. If you do the exact opposite of what Cramer says, majority of the time, not only do you win big. That's why there's actually an inverse Cramer index fund. That is actually legit. Some fund company thought it was so accurate, they actually created one. So think about that. Okay, so that's what Cramer said today. And again, it's right after what Polygon Jones said about Bitcoin. So let's take a listen. He said some good stuff. Good stuff about Bitcoin. Bitcoin. So let me see here. Let me play this. All right, let's do this.
I said I wanted to talk about Robinhood, but I also just looked on the screen behind you and I saw the price of Bitcoin. And I know every time we've spoken, you've had a take on Bitcoin. Do you have a new take? Still holding?
I think now the barbarous relics, and I would lump gold and Bitcoin together. I think they probably take on a larger percentage of your portfolio than historically they would, because we're going to go through both a challenging political time here in the United States, and we're going to go through, we've obviously got a geopolitical situation. So I would say...
But high interest rates were supposed to be the thing that was actually going to be unhelpful to Bitcoin.
Well, and I think on a relative basis, look what's happened to gold. It actually has been. Clearly, it suppressed it. So you know that more likely than not, we're going to go into recession. There's some pretty clear-cut recession trades. The easiest are the yield curve gets really steep, term premium goes into the back ends of debt markets, right, into 30-year and 10-year and 7-year paper. The stock market typically, right before a recession, declines about 12%. That's probably going to happen at some point from some level. And you look at the big shorts in gold, more likely than not, in a recession, the market's typically really long assets like Bitcoin and gold. So there's probably a $40 billion worth of buying that has to come in to gold at some point between now and if that recession actually occurs. So yeah, I like Bitcoin and I like gold right here.
Interesting take, because what he said was exactly the opposite of what Jim Cramer said, who was just shitting on gold and Bitcoin. And Polygon Jones is arguing this is the time to be loading up on both, because he feels like a recession is coming. And when a recession is coming, you want to park your money into stores of value like gold and Bitcoin. That's why he loves Bitcoin right now and thinks it should take a larger percentage of your portfolio. So who's right? Polygon Jones, a self-made billionaire worth $8 billion, or Jim Cramer, who has an inverse Cramer index fund out there that's more accurate than what he's saying on a day-to-day basis, right? So you make the judgment call, right? But right now, you guys know I am extremely, extremely bullish on Bitcoin. I think there is nothing that's going to stop Bitcoin and its trajectory upwards, okay? Especially as we head into the Santa rally, 2024, the quadfecta year, and then the most bullish year of them all, 2025. And that is when we may see Bitcoin above 200,000 and everything else skyrocket when we truly get an altcoin season. Yes, that's coming in 2025, right? So this is definitely not time, in my opinion, to be listening to Jimbo. It's time to listen to me and Polygon Jones and Michael Saylor and everyone else that's in this space, encouraging you to stay positive, to stay focused, and to stay with Bitcoin, right? Here's a good example from Michael Saylor. What would you do when inflation is 10% per day? Right now, we're arguing about 3%, 4%, 5%, 10% inflation year to year, right? What would you do if inflation in the U.S. was 10% per day, right? Where would you park your money? Of course, the obvious choice is Bitcoin. Where else are you go park your money, right? So, I mean, again, another reason why Bitcoin was created, because shenanigans caused by central banks, not just in the U.S., not just the Fed, banks around the world, okay? And there's many countries that have hyperinflation. People suffer from hyperinflation. What do you do when your buying power goes down by 10% every single day? You have no choice but to buy Bitcoin, right? And luckily in the U.S., We're not faced with that yet. But if the money printer keeps on going and we keep accruing more debt and we have to keep paying more interest every single year, and if we can't pay those interests, what happens? We turn on the money printer. And then it's an endless circle, right? If it keeps on going, we'll be like Argentina someday. Hopefully not ever in our lifetimes, but we'll get there. Here's another way to look at inflation. Houses did not magically double in value between 2020 and 2022. Rather, the fiat currency they're denominated in became worth less. Think about that for a second. A house that used to be, let's say, $300,000 is now $500,000. Okay? Did it really go up by $200,000, or did the dollar just devalue itself so that now you just have to pay more for it, right? That is actually what's happening. The current supply of money went up by 40%. It's about probably more now, probably like 50% now, right? So, of course, everything got 50% more expensive. But that doesn't mean that the intrinsic value actually went up. It just means that the dollars just became more worthless, right? But look at Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin keeps on going up. So you would have had to pay 125 Bitcoin for a house in 2017, and today you only have to pay 20, right? Well, this is 2022, but you get the picture, right? Because Bitcoin outperforms everything, and nothing outperforms Bitcoin over a long haul, right? So that's why we need Bitcoin. In the future, you only need one Bitcoin to buy a mansion, right? When Bitcoin is at $250,000 each, and then it goes to $500,000 and $1 million, and maybe someday in our lifetime is at like $5 or $10 million. You could buy a whole mansion with a single Bitcoin. Yep. Think about that. All right. Here's something else that's interesting. If you look at this, the naysayers will say, well, this is exactly what's happening. You look at Bitcoin and you're looking at the patterns, you're like, oh my God, Bitcoin keeps breaking lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, right? It looks like Bitcoin is about to break lower again. Are we going to hit 15,000? Are we going down to 10,000 or 2,000? Don't panic. This chart is in reverse. So the naysayers will look at this and say, yeah, Bitcoin's about to go down, but this is actually inversed. So what this is actually showing is Bitcoin is about to go up in a big, big way, right? It's always awesome to inverse like the price index on a chart, because when things look like they'll go down, everyone jumps on top of it and say, oh yeah, it must go down. But when you show a chart that shows it's going to go up, like half the people are like, no, that can't be true. It's not going to go up. But if you show something that's going down, it's like everyone's saying, yeah, it's going to go down, right? So that's why it's interesting to reverse it sometimes. Here's another interesting thing that shows, what happens before a halving event. This person labels it the stealth or accumulation period, right? And then what happens afterwards? You have that bull run, the parabolic bull phase, right? That's coming after this next halving event. Is there any question at this point, right? Like, I don't know. For me, there's no question at all. I don't know about others. This is time to be bullish and more bullish and even more bullish. I don't see how anyone is negative at this point. I mean, I don't think any of you guys are really negative. This morning, I showed 96% of Bitcoin has been held. No, 96% of the overall supply has been held for the past month. For 1 month alone, 96% of Bitcoin have not been traded. And it's at an all-time high and an all-time low, okay, in terms of what is being traded. That shows you how strong people's convictions are right now, right? So again, time to be bullish. All right, outside of Bitcoin, a little Polygon news. A lot of things happening in Polygon right now. I saw this USDC now native on Polygon POS chain. That's their main chain, I believe. Before you kind of had to bridge it. Now you don't. It's native, so that's good. Also, let's not forget Polygon 2.0, right, is in testnet mode right now. So that will be coming up. When it comes out, there's going to be multiple chains going on simultaneously, but you know, Polygon's trying to sort through them all, right? But they are testing 2.0 right now, and you know, that's gonna come live pretty soon. You have Google that recently announced that, yeah, they're joining Polygon as a validator. They staked 10,000 Matic because, you know, they want to get in. They want to get involved with Polygon, and there's so many brands and their NFTs, right? Some games are also on Polygon right now, so that's also very positive, right? And the number of addresses within the POS chain continues to go up and up and up. And the same thing with their ZK EVM chain too, keeps on going up and up and up and too. So Polygon is doing quite well building and attracting users and dApps during a pretty harsh market, right? So good for them. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, Time Traveler, Mike, Warren, Ryan. Appreciate the support. Let's see if I missed anything. Africa, Rusty Bot, welcome. Casey and Way. I already thanked Seven Circles. Carolina Barbecue. All right. Brianna asks, do you think that having event may have a little less power this time due to the current wars and growing inflation? I don't know. You could argue that wars and inflation actually helps, especially inflation. Inflation makes the prices go up, right? Pretty much on everything. It sucks for commodities, goods, and services, but it's great for investments like Bitcoin, right? And wars, you know, it could be good for Bitcoin. So I don't know. I mean, we may actually get a boost. Maybe it doesn't move right away. You know, maybe it delays things, or maybe it accelerates things. CJ Roush, love you, George. I just bought my Treasure Cold wallet. Can't wait to fill it up. Thank you and congratulations. It's never too late to get a cold wallet and get to know it, right? And use it. So that's fantastic. Discover Crypto made vid NSA made BDC thoughts. So they said NSA made BDC. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Discover Crypto, I will say this. I have nothing against them, but their views are dropping like a rock. So, yeah, I don't know why they would make a video like that. But anyways. Ross Reynolds. How is BTC used as store of value? If you're in a recession, BTC going down, banks went under, inflation gone up, BTC is still down. Okay, because I think your question is based on the fact that you're looking at short term. You're looking at this year or last year. You're looking at it, well, Bitcoin is not moving up, right? Okay. When in doubt, zoom out. This is what you need to look at. Since 2010 till now, nothing has outperformed Bitcoin. So that's why it's a store of value. Because short term, yes, there could be greater movers. Okay. Long term, nothing outperforms Bitcoin. Nothing. It's not even close. Bitcoin is up millions of percent within the last 12, 13 years. Nothing else is close. Even if you go back 5 years, right? Same thing. So that's why it's the greatest hedge against inflation. It is the ultimate store of value. And if you understand what Bitcoin is about, okay, the most decentralized and secure network there is that can't be replicated, okay, can't be artificially changed or inflated. Everything's controlled by the people spread around the world. If you truly understand that, you also wouldn't have any doubts because it is just the greatest thing that we have. Jerry, member for 18 months. Thank you for being a long-term member. You're the best. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What's wrong with Miller Lite? I love Miller Lite. Maybe the CIA. No. Whew. This morning got a little gloomy because in Q&A I started talking about, I guess, life and the lack of time, and our existence on this planet is quite short. Yeah, those are all true things. That's why it's a great time to be starting up the IFL. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys follow Ben, but he tweeted out a couple things. I can confirm I'm going to be fighting on the main card of a karate combat event put on by CryptosRus. I can tell you this: unlike the cops who busted me for loitering, I take no prisoners. And I responded, "This fight will change everything. David versus Goliath." So it's on, people. It's on. I'm talking with Karate Combat guys tomorrow. We're going to go solidify some things. I already have 7 fights planned. Okay, some of the biggest people in this space. It's going to rock people's worlds. This is going to be professionally done in a ring by Karate Combat. These guys are going to be training their butts off. Okay. This is going to be serious. This is going to be serious stuff. And for those of you guys that are Hedera fans, Karate Combat operates on Hedera. Think about that. Could be quite good for them, too. Ron Paul. Bob, 3 rules to crypto. Number 1, when in doubt, zoom out. Number 2, DCA. And 3, always do the opposite of Cramer. Those are 3 solid rules. I can't reveal who Ben is fighting at. It's a secret, but it's someone that he has a beef with. And when I say David versus Goliath, I really mean that. And I don't mean Ben is the Goliath. So to give you a clue, okay. Make sure you have hot chicks at the event. Well, they already have it. This is Karate Combat. Just look at some of their previous fights. You know, it's done really well. They have a huge audience. I'm sure they have ring girls, you know. It's going to be a good old time. Yes. Yes. It's funny, some game maker reached out to me and said, hey, you know what I could develop like a Mortal Kombat style game based on the IFL, which is the influencer fight league. I'm like, okay, if you could fund it and create it, sure, you know. But it takes a lot. It will be sometime in February or March. So there's still some time for these guys to really train. Cousin Crypto, if he has a large following, then maybe. Right now, concentrating on the people that have the largest followings. I know there are some smaller people that have reached out. Right now, we're looking for, like, you know, obviously the influencers with the largest reach. Yeah, I haven't talked to Cowan personally, but kind of like his second in charge said that he's not gonna fight. Crypto Grit, you're gonna have to wait in line. Ron Paul, I'll take a look at him after. But I don't know. I mean, I already have 7 fights. I don't think I get an 8th fight, to be honest. Right now I'm not going to say who else is in, but I'll just say this. There's a lot of people that you guys know of. A lot of people that you guys know of. There's 2 guys that will be, I think, representing their projects, but everyone else are influencers, some of the biggest out there. Coma, this is all done through Karate Combat, so I know that they have good lawyers, good disclaimers, good waivers, all that. I think Crow already announced it. He wasn't supposed to, but anyways, Crow is fighting. He is fighting someone. I'll just leave it at that. Altcoin, they're not fighting. I'm not fighting. I may do it in a future event, but not right now. I'm too out of shape and bad knees, and I'm not a fighter. So I'm staying on the sidelines. I'm just going to organize things. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You just don't know. After talking to a lot of these people, obviously they're all amateur fighters, but some of these guys have been training for a long, long time. You know, they're black belts in many forms of martial arts, or they've boxed or wrestled for, at a college level. Some of them had just been training for, a decade. You know, there's a lot of guys that really, you know, I think they could do really well, especially if they put their mind to it and they're actually training, right? So it's not just going to be a whole bunch of influencers that have no fighting experience that just go duke it out for the first time. A lot of these guys really know how to fight. So I think it could be pretty good. The fights could be really good. And of course, they're fighting for their honor, for their ego, to squash beef, you know, also to just challenge themselves. A lot of these guys want to challenge themselves. So, you know, I think it's going to turn out really good. I wish I could get, you know, some girls to participate, but it's tough. The blonde broker, she reached out. I don't know. I think she was half kidding, but she's not answering me. But Wendy doesn't want to do it. Megan, I don't know if she wants to do it. She's the partner of Crypto Mason. I heard she was too worthy. And I don't know about anyone else. I don't know if I'm gonna be emceeing, but I'm definitely I'm gonna be conducting, you know, the press conference, right? You guys see the boxing and UFC press conference. We'll do something like that. I'll be leading that. I'll be, you know, kind of like the face of this, being, you know, conducting the interviews, answering questions, a lot of behind the scenes content, all going to be on CRU Plus. I already have 3 great hosts, but I'm going to be adding a lot of content on CRU Plus for this as well. You know, this is going to be good. It's unlike anything else in this space. And this could definitely blow up into not just a crypto influencer fight, obviously influencer fights in general, you know, but when you have a whole league that's already established for this, right? It's not like I'm trying to figure it out. The league does many, many, many fights. They have been for a long time. So they already have all the experience, the trainers, the venues, you know, the whole setup. It's so easy to do because they already have this in place. Digi Nomad, if NSA made BTC, are you still bullish? I'll just say I'll play along and say no. But I know that the NSA didn't make Bitcoin. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid assumption. And I don't care what anyone says. The NSA did not make Bitcoin. You know, arm wrestling. I can't, you know, the new thing that is hyped up is the slap boxing. I can't stand that. Like, I just feel like that's so cruel. But arm wrestling would be cool. You know, I don't know if we could do something like that too for arm wrestling. Arm wrestling would be really cool. I would love to do basketball too. You know, 5-on-5. You know, 2 teams of influencers to play ball, right? Like, I love to do that too. I love to do stuff. I would love to make a whole bunch of leagues for influencers. You know, a lot of influencers are quite tall, so I would be at an extreme disadvantage, especially like Crow, who's already 7 feet. But yeah, I think arm wrestling would be good too. Todd, yes, I would love for you to call your buddy Joe Rogan, who does fight commentary, to join me. I love to go on his show too to talk about the new IFL. Although Karate Combat already had people like what's that? who's that guy? One of the main fighter guys. He's been on a show talking about the league already. I forgot his name. Anyways. Crow's 7 feet. Legit 7 feet. He is monster if you see him in real life. All right, guys. I'll let you go. It was a long stream. Bitcoin, you know, still holding steady. We have 2 pleas to the man in charge, Powell, not to raise rates. We had Caroline turn on SBF today, and we had Cramer issuing a major price warning to all Bitcoin holders. So watch out and do the opposite. Inverse Cramer. All right, smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys.